Hey everybody, Devin Koretsky here. Today I want to talk to you about door knocking. Okay, so we're gonna go through the basics of door knocking, step-by-step process to be successful, the mindset behind it, and then we'll get into a little bit what you can do on the doors as kind of like an intro. Okay, so first thing when you're knocking on doors, that you need to take into consideration, and the most important aspect of success is the hustle and the work ethic, right, guys? Like, knocking on doors is not easy. You have to knock on a ton of doors, right? But if you work hard, you will be handsomely rewarded. Some of the door knockers out there make more money than any other industry. It's ridiculous. The top producers are just killing it, right? It's going to take time, effort, dedication, and practice. But after a week or two, you're going to start feeling a lot better on the doors. You're going to start enjoying it. And after a month or two, 3 months, you're going to get really, really good. Okay. But you need to be out there, right? When you go into a neighborhood, knock on 50, 75 doors, however many it is in that neighborhood, you have to know, like, hey, there's probably only going to be like 2 or 3 people who are home who want what I'm having to offer, right? So you go from door to door, a lot of people aren't interested. Your mind is going to tell you, like, oh, I should give up. People don't want me here. I don't belong here. I suck at this. Why am I doing this? I'm a loser. You're going to have all these thoughts coming into your head because with anything hard, right, it's going to be a struggle to continue to do it at first, right? But if you keep going, you're going to find that person who wants to go solar, who's interested in it, who wants to sit down with you, right? And then you sit down with them and you close them, and it's all worth it. But you have to have your mindset right. Know that it's going to be tough. Know that you're going to have those debilitating fears, that debilitating anxiety and thoughts. And know that you're going to encounter those at one time or the next, and you're going to have to overcome those, okay? And, it helps to go out with people, with friends, and hold yourself accountable, right? Like what I like to do when I go out to a neighborhood, I'll be like, hey, I'm going to knock on 50 doors, right? It doesn't matter if I don't get anyone who's interested. It doesn't matter if I make 5 appointments. I'm going to knock on 50 doors. That is my task, right? That is all I'm doing. It doesn't matter what the results are, right? So that's kind of a mind hack I do with myself to make sure I complete my tasks, right? And I keep doing it, right? Or you can even tell yourself, this works for me too, like, hey, everyone I talk to today is gonna reject me, right? Except for one person, right? And then you're expecting to be rejected, and that fear won't take a hold of you quite as much, okay? So when you get to the door, and you knock on the door, right, and you say your pitch, people are going to give you what I like to call smoke screens, right? They're going to say, not interested, I'm busy. They're going to say whatever they want to say to get you out of there quickly. Everyone is going to say this, right? You might get lucky and find someone, but most of my appointments start out with the customer saying, hey, I'm not interested, or I'm busy, something like that, right? What you do is you quickly overcome that, and then you go into your pitch, right? And we're going to go over the objections you'll hear at the door and how to overcome them. But the steps are really simple. You knock on the door, you say who you are. Hey, I'm Devin, I'm the solar guy in the neighborhood. You say that. Then you tell them why you are there. This is a very important step. You say, hey, I was meeting with your neighbor John or Sherry down the street for a free solar consultation, and that's why I'm in the neighborhood. Or my company set up Juan or whoever down the street with solar, and they're loving it. They're saving a lot of money, so that's why I'm in the neighborhood. I wanted to educate homeowners on solar and see who's interested in the savings involved in it, right? So you say that. That's the second step, why you're there. Then you do a pull away, I call it, or a takeaway, right? Where you kind of let them know, like, hey, this is a limited offer, not everyone qualifies. So usually what I'll say is, like, not everyone qualifies, so I'm checking to see who qualifies in the neighborhood, or only a select few people actually qualify for the program, so I'm seeing who qualifies, right? To make them feel special, make them feel like, oh, you're not just knocking on, not everyone can do this, right? So that's important, the pullback, right? So let's reiterate. First, you're knocking on the door, you're doing your intro. Hey, I'm Devin, the solar guy in the neighborhood. Then you say why you are there. Hey, I was meeting with your neighbor, blah, 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 going over solar, and I'm seeing which neighbors in the area could save some money. And then you do the pullback, right? The pullback is not everybody qualifies, so that's why I'm here to find out who qualifies. Then you go into your pitch, right? I'm gonna make another video on the 30-second pitch that kind of breaks this down, but in the pitch it should take about 30 seconds, and you go over the benefits of solar real quickly, touch on the zero down program, make sure you emphasize that they don't have to pay a penny out of pocket, that it builds equity in your home, a lot of people love that you're making a positive environmental impact, that you're locking in a low rate, and that you can lower your utility bill, and that you can save money right off the bat and save a ton of money in the long term, right? So you want to touch on those key points just to see, because some people are really excited about the equity, some people are really excited that they don't have to pay a penny out of pocket. Whatever it is, you want to hit those 3 to 5 key points to try and spark their interest, right? Then at the end of that 30-second pitch, you do the tie down, or the tie down or the go for the appointment. Hey guys, don't you think it's worth at least 20 minutes of you and your spouse's time to sit down with me and see if this could benefit you, to see if you qualify, right? And then see what they say. Usually they'll hit you with an objection, right? At that point you overcome the objection and then you reclose, right? It's just like the sales presentation. You're closing them on an appointment. Once you get them to say, yes, let's sit down for the appointment, then you move on to the next step. So another good way that I like to ask for the appointment, to make it seem like you're very busy, that a lot of people are wanting to do this, and your schedule is full, is be like, hey, I'm meeting with a lot of homeowners today and tomorrow, but I have a time open for 7 p.m. tonight and a time open for tomorrow at 5 p.m. Always give them 2 options and see what they say, right? Let them know it won't take too long. You're going to go over everything when you get there, right? Make them feel like you're busy, like, your time is just as valuable as theirs, right? And then once you get that appointment, then you need to start locking down that appointment and getting all the information that you need, okay? So the one thing that we really want to get from them, so we can have everything prepared for them for the appointment, is the utility bill, right? But you just don't want to ask them for that because that's kind of personal, right? So once you get them to agree, like, okay, Devin, yeah, come over tomorrow at 5 p.m. Pull out your phone, look down on it, and be like, okay, great. And what was could you spell your first and last name? Get that information. Okay, great. And your email? Okay, perfect. And your phone number? Perfect. And then look around. What was the address here again? Got your address. Okay, great. And so I can have everything ready for you for when I arrive. Can you grab a copy of your utility bill real quick? And then see what they say. Some people have it digitally. Some people have it, have a copy of it. If they say, oh, I do it digitally, just say, hey, no problem. Just pull that up. I'll take a quick picture of it on my phone. That way we can build out your solar system ahead of time. And then try and get that, right? If they really don't want to give that to you, ask them, like, okay, well, really all I need from it is your usage, right? Does it say on there how many kilowatt hours you use per month or per year? And try and get that, because if we have that information, we can build them a system as well. Okay, so make sure you do that. And then after you get all that information, then you want to qualify them, right? You want to find out if they qualify for solar, right? Homeowners need 3 things to qualify, right? 1, they need ask them if they have taxable income. If they don't, we'll get into that in another video, but that's kind of important to make it affordable. 2, they need to have a credit score over 650, right? That's really important. We do have a subprime score for over 600, so that's okay, but I always ask, hey, do you guys have a credit score over 650? Do you think there'll be a problem there? If they say no, ask them some more probing questions. Have you checked your score? Where do you see your score? Have you missed some payments? Try and find out if they're above 600, right? Because if they're definitely below 600, we don't want to waste any time, and we don't want to meet with them, right? And then also ask them if their spouse is going to be available. Okay, so that's really important, right? You don't want to have what we call a one leg, where you just sit down with the husband and then they need to talk to the spouse. It's a big decision. Let them know, like, hey, this is a big decision, guys. And usually spouses have different questions. They have different opinions of it, so I want to be there to answer both your questions. So let's schedule a time when you're both available, and make sure that the husband and the wife or anyone else for that matter who wants to be a part of the appointment is there, who needs to be a part of the decision, right? So ask them that as well. If they qualify for all those things, thank them, say, hey, I'm looking forward to meeting you, and send them a text message, right? I do it right there at the door, right? I'll send them a text, hey, this is Devin from Aura Solar. I'm looking forward to meeting you tomorrow at 5 p.m. Have a great day. And then I send it to them. I make sure they get it. That's another way to make sure you have the proper phone number, right? And that you'll be able to get in contact with them. And then if they got it, I thank them and good job. You just made an appointment. Congratulations, right? So let me break down the steps again for you because I know I went over a lot. You approach the door, right? You knock on it. You say who you are. Hey, I'm Devin. I'm the solar guy from the neighborhood. You say why you're there. I was just meeting with Juan down the street. We just did a solar presentation, or we just set them up with solar. And then you do the pullback. Not everyone qualifies, right? That's the third step, the pullback. So you mentioned qualification. Not everyone qualifies for the program, so I'm going around seeing which homeowners qualify and see who we can save the most money for, right? And then you go into your 30-second pitch where you hit the benefits of solar. It's a zero down program. It builds equity in your home. You're saving money on day one, plus long-term savings, all those good things, environmental impact, right? And then you finish that and you go into the close, or going for the appointment, right? Going for the appointment is the close. Hey guys, with all those reasons I just gave you, don't you think it's worth at least 20 minutes of your time to sit down with me today or tomorrow and see if it makes sense, right? Lock down that appointment. Give them two options, right? You say, hey, I have an appointment open tonight at 7 p.m. or tomorrow at 5 p.m. Which day works best? Find out a good time for them. Then you get the information you need. So you just look down. Once you get the time, you look down on your phone and you put all the information in your phone. Ask them what their name is, their email, their phone number, verify the address. And then after you do that, you ask for the electricity bill, right? Try and get that. That's really important. If someone gives you an electricity bill, that's a solid appointment, right? Ask them if they have a paper bill or they get it on their phone. You can take a picture if it's on their phone as well. After that, you qualify them. Make sure that they have over a 650 credit score, over a 600 credit score. Make sure they have taxable income. Make sure that they're the homeowner. I did not mention that.